Hey guys, welcome back. Dr. T here, living your best life. So, this one's going to be a little bit more down in the weeds on some issues with diet. And I see this all the time. Like, if you watched any of my other videos, uh, I train people on and off. I've done it for a long time. Help lots of people get ready for competitions, you name it. So, anyway, I see this a lot in the general public with people that want to lose weight. And the general idea is everything in moderation, right? I've even heard that phrase, the moderation diet, right? And you talk to people and they say, well, everything's okay in moderation, which makes zero sense whatsoever if you actually think about that logically. I didn't come up with this, but Dr. Anthony Chaffee says it's kind of like having a little bit of cocaine, right? Well, I only do it on Fridays, or I only do it on Saturdays, right? I might do a line of coke or smoke some meth, right? Everything in moderation is fine, right? I get it, food's not that bad, right? I'm not comparing food to crack, but the point is still there that everything in moderation is bullshit. It just is, especially when it comes to diet, because let me tell you why. Lots of reasons. One, if you watched one of my other videos, Why Diets Fail, everybody lies to themselves for a multitude of reasons. Some of it is just they don't know, and some of it is they're playing dumb, right? Because I've sat down with hundreds of people that want to lose weight, and they always say, oh, I eat clean. And then my next question is, well, what's your idea of clean eating? And then they go on this list of crap that they're eating that's not clean, right? Oh, I eat Subway for lunch. Yes, Subway's better than McDonald's, right? But it's kind of like saying marijuana is better than meth, right? So people lie to themselves drastically. I've had people say, you know, I eat clean. Oh, I stop at Starbucks every morning. I get a blueberry muffin and a latte. Well, you just had 150 grams of carbohydrates right there of straight crap, right? You might as well have drank 4 cans of Coke on the way to work. So everything in moderation fails miserably. One, people lie to themselves. People grossly underestimate how much they eat and how many calories and carbs, all the nutrients, etc., that are in things. For one, like I said before, just lack of knowledge. And then two, it's really, really, really hard to track these things, especially if you're eating out. Yeah, you can look it up, but they're bogus at best. Labels can be up to 20% off, 20% plus or minus on the nutrients. So do the math right there. You might be 20% over, 20% under. So it's hard to track. People aren't weighing their food and getting down in the weeds. Even if you are, there's still lots of room for error. So it's hard to guesstimate how much you're eating, how many carbs, how many protein, how many fat, all that kind of stuff, right? And then the other thing is people that eat decently clean, we'll call it for now, and I'll explain that a little bit more detail here in a minute. People that eat decently clean, they cheat a lot, right? I've talked to lots of people. Well, it's just about portion size. Bullshit. Well, I go out to dinner and I get a small meal, or if I'm going to have pizza, I have 2 slices instead of having 4. That's still garbage because you're totally ignoring the fundamental piece of the puzzle about weight loss that a lot of people, even so-called professionals on the YouTube world, and I know I'm new to the YouTube world, but like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and they're under this gross, misguided misconception of calories in, calories out. All you got to do is lower your calories and you lose weight. I call giant, giant, giant bullshit on that for lots of reasons. One, you're totally ignoring what happens after you eat something. There's a whole host of things that go on biologically, mechanically in your body after you eat something. Your body responds very differently if I have 6 Krispy Kreme donuts, right? Or I have a T-bone steak. I have 6 Krispy Kreme donuts, and my insulin probably shot up to about, or my glucose probably shot up to about 250, right? Maybe more. Who knows? Depending on how damaged you are metabolically. I ate a T-bone steak for dinner. Guess what it does? Nothing. Doesn't even raise a blip. Not even a point. So, mechanically, there's a lot of things that are at work inside your body. And if you're diving down this rabbit hole maybe for the first time and you're kind of maybe thinking about keto or carnivore or just trying to get some diet advice or tips, whatever your path is, look up Dr. Ben Bikman. He's got a million YouTube videos out there. He's a PhD researcher, and literally his only job is to research fat. And they grow fat cells in a lab in petri dishes, and they test them. And lots of his videos go over this, but basically the gist of it is you can take fat cells in a solution, inject some insulin into the solution, and guess what? That signals the fat cells to absorb the glucose. They get bigger, they store it. That's what your body wants to do. When it has excess glucose, it stores it in fat for later use. It's just a biological fact that can't be beaten. Yes, there's some ways around it. Maybe if you just worked out, before a workout, during a workout. I'm not going to go down to all the weeds on that kind of stuff right now, but generally speaking, you're not going to lose body fat when your insulin is elevated. It's just not going to happen. Your body's going to burn the glucose for energy and not going to dip into fat stores. The reason I can stay lean all the time, I don't count calories ever. I have no idea what I eat in a day. None. I said if you watched any of my other videos, some days for dinner I'll have 6 eggs and almost a whole pack of bacon. So do the math on the fat grams and the calories in that. Other days I might have salmon for dinner. So I don't count calories. I haven't in over a year and a half. Even when I did it, it didn't really work. Because like I said, the goal in fat loss is obviously to do what's most efficient, right? So, and the most efficient thing that I have found is carnivore, hands down, bar none. Do some research, thousands and 10,000s upon more and more people coming out, healing all sorts of illnesses they had, diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, you name it, all from cutting out carbs. And you might not be on board with that, but the results speak for themselves. Every single person that I've actually had do it has drastic improvement. They see significant reduction in body fat, significant improvement, and they just feel better. If you watched any other videos on keto or carnivore, you just feel better. Your mental acuity goes up, your awareness, your alertness. You're not tired during the day from the insulin crash of eating some crappy lunch, and then your glucose spikes up and then drops back down. So I tell people this: if you're not going to jump into keto or carnivore, that's fine. I get it. It's not for everybody. And like I said in other videos, I do cheat. I'm not hardcore 100% carnivore all the time. I do cheat. About every 3 or 4 weeks, I go out and I eat junk. I eat sushi, I eat whatever I want to eat, pizza, usually for one day, and I'm good, and then I'm good for another 3 or 4 weeks. And that keeps me happy, and it keeps me healthy, it keeps my blood work perfect, and it keeps me lean, and I don't have to really worry too much about calories and all that kind of stuff. So I tell people this: if you're not ready to jump into the whole swimming pool of carnivore or keto, that's fine. Just eat a whole foods diet. Cut out all the processed bullshit. No breads, no pastas, no rice. Cut out all that crap. Cookies, cakes, anything with sugar in it, right? Cut all that crap out and buy fruits, vegetables, and meats, and some dairy. And that's it. If you literally just ate those things, you would be better than 99% of the population. You'll be extremely healthy. You will lose weight because you're not going to be spiking your insulin through the roof and storing a bunch of body fat. And then when you work out, you're going to be actually burning fat instead of just burning the glucose. So that alone works wonders. And then you'll start to see the big difference, honestly, just eating like a whole food based diet, how much better you feel. And I tell myself this, yeah, like I said, I cheat and I do treat myself, right? But my idea of that is every 3 or 4 weeks. I don't need to treat myself every weekend because that's just ridiculous. One, I'm not that weak mentally, and two, I would feel like shit, honestly, if I just ate garbage every weekend. And that's what most people do. Oh, it's a cheat day. Your cheat day should be every month, right? Not every weekend. So I tell people when they start a diet, give it 30 days. Give it 30 days of hardcore, strict, no bullshit, all in, no cheating. And that sells you on it. Anyone that I've coached and trained that's done that, you see such drastic improvements, it makes you not want to cheat, right? Because I feel so good. I don't want to go off the hinges and eat like total garbage for 2 or 3 days, right? And go on a bender, so to speak. So now, don't have the mindset of everything in moderation, because what happens is you wake up and you eat your garbage breakfast of oatmeal or a muffin or whatever, and maybe your glucose got to 100 over the night, right? And then it's going to spike up. You eat that breakfast, if it's something like that, like a carby breakfast, it's going to shoot up probably about 140, 150. Again, if you're metabolically have some issues, it's going to spike a lot higher than that, right? And it takes a long time to come back down, again, depending on how efficient you are. It takes a long time to come back down, and then that's when you start to feel like garbage, and then, oh, I'm hungry, I must have to eat. I'm starting to feel tired. Then you eat lunch, and the whole cycle starts over and over and over again. The whole time you're not burning any body fat at all. And compare or contrast that to somebody like me, someone that's on a keto or carnivore diet. I could take my glucose reading any time of the day, and it's going to be under 90, probably under 80 in the morning. It's actually been under 70 a lot of times in the morning, and I feel great. I feel great when I have carbs. I've tested it. It actually doesn't spike that much now because I've been on carnivore for well over a year now. I can eat a pretty carb-heavy meal, and it goes up to maybe 110. Not that significant of a bump. 120, that's about it. And then it comes back down relatively quickly. So, yeah, the everything in moderation diet is total bullshit. The calories in, calories out crowd. Like Ben Bikman says over and over and over again, I quote him a lot because I think he's just extremely grounded and knowledgeable in this subject. And like I said, go look up his videos, you'll be amazed. Anyone that thinks that calories in, calories out is the way to lose weight knows literally next to nothing about biology of a human being. And there's lots of studies that illustrate this too. They've done lots of research on laboratory animals and humans. If I fed you a diet, if the calories in, calories out model worked, right? And I fed you a diet that was just lower in your caloric expenditure in a day, let's just use the number 2,000 for example. Let's just hypothetically say that you burn 2,000 calories a day. Theoretically, if I lowered that to 1,500 times 7, that's 3,500, and supposedly 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat. If I lowered your caloric value to 1,500 calories for 7 days straight, you should lose 1 pound of body fat, correct? In theory. Now, let's say you ate 1,500 calories a day of birthday cake and Krispy Kreme and Coca-Cola. Do you think at the end of 7 days you'll lose a pound of body fat? I would bet $1,000 that you won't. And again, lots of research, they've done literally these exact things. They fed hamsters and laboratory mice really high, straight glucose-based diets and fed other lab animals a diet higher in protein and fat, and compare and contrast the two, and guess what? Even on the lower caloric diet, the high glucose group always gains weight because their insulin is elevated all the time. It's another reason why intermittent fasting works so well. One camp says that intermittent fasting works well, because you just reduce calories. And yeah, you do reduce calories, right? And chances are you're probably not going to overeat if you're eating. Like when I intermittent fast, I eat one meal a day. I have a couple protein shakes in there throughout the day, so it's not really truly intermittent fasting. But most times I eat one meal a day. So generally, if you're doing that, unless you're eating, again, Krispy Kreme, you're not going to probably eat 2,000 calories, 2,500 calories in one meal. So there is that, and I will give them that side of the argument. But the other reason, and lots of research supporting this, again, the other reason it's so effective is because your insulin is stable. If you go to bed, you ate dinner at 7 o'clock, for example, and you don't eat dinner again till the next night of 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever. You basically fasted for 24 hours. So guess what your insulin level is, your glucose? Super, super, super low. So when your body needs energy, guess what it does? It pulls from your fat. It has literally no other choice. In absence of carbohydrates, in absence of glucose, your body has no other choice but to burn fat for energy. That's what it's going to do. That's what it's designed to do. So that's all you're doing. You're prioritizing your source of energy from carbohydrates to fats. It's a pretty simple concept, honestly, and this is not new. This has been around for a long time, and like I said, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people around the world are seeing this. And yeah, I know, I get it. There's still the calories in, calories out crowd argues this side, and then the keto carnivore intermittent fasting group argues this side. And you might be thinking to yourself, I don't know what to believe. Follow the science. Follow the science and common sense, right? Just common sense. Even if you don't want to delve down in the weeds and watch tens of hours or hundreds of hours of YouTube videos and read academic journals on studies, right? Follow your common sense and think to yourself this: if I ate a diet of Krispy Kreme, would I lose weight if I just lowered my calories? The answer is clearly no, right? You don't have to be an exercise physiologist, a PhD, or an MD, or a researcher to realize that, right? Red flags should be going off in your mind saying, that's bullshit. There's no possible way that would work, right? Because it wouldn't. Again, it's just common sense. The idea is to keep your insulin low, as low as you can, within reason, right? I'm not talking down to 50 where it's unhealthy and you're going to die. The idea is to keep it low, keep it stable, prioritize protein, fats. Like I said, if you're not going to jump full carnivore keto, vegetables are fine. I'm not really anti-vegetable crowd. Those in moderation. If you like fruit, sure, some strawberries, blueberries, that type of thing. If you just ate that diet alone, like I said, you're going to be healthier than 99% of the population. You're going to lose body fat. You're going to feel better. So just try it. Try it. Don't worry about counting your calories. If you just did that, trust me, don't count a single calorie, and I guarantee you'll see results. And post in the comments if you've tried it or you're going to try it. Maybe let me know how it works. And I'm kind of curious. All right. Hope that helps. See you.